It was back about 1981. I was looking out the office window where I had an office near the Toronto Stock Exchange, and I asked myself the question, how does the gospel relate to the commercial life? And there was no answers for me out there. That was the beginning of the journey. How does the gospel relate in specifics to business people who are giving most of their time and energy in the marketplace? With this idea, I flew back from Colorado Springs and set up appointments with 6 CEOs who I knew previously and asked them to be involved in a peer learning group of CEOs and how to integrate biblical principles to daily business practice, grow your company profitably, 3, grow in your leadership. And as a result, all 6 said yes. In hindsight, I think God was being very, very kind and gracious because that's never happened since. Really what it was taking the whole principles of discipleship that I learned through the Navigators and all my practice of that working with men over the years, and working with Rick with his business background and his experience of how to put CEO groups together. We married this together and created BBL, which later was called Convene. BBL stood for Beyond the Bottom Line, turning the Sunday stuff into Monday stuff for better lives, better businesses. It's important for a business leader to experience a strong vertical tug on his life, or her life. And the reason is that we're to be about our Father's business as his son and daughter. And how that Great Commission and Great Commandment works out in all the particulars of his personal life and business life is a real challenge. And he needs a peer group with an orientation to integrate biblical principles of daily business practice, grow their company profitably, and 3, grow in their leadership, that's character and competency. My vision and desire is to see God raise up men and women whose hearts he has touched, who are willing to say, here am I, send me, with this mission, and lay down their life for their community, for their town, for their city. The impact, if men and women walk with Christ in the marketplace, will be a light to the darkness, and may we come with compassion, kindness, grace, and generosity.
Those of us who lead Christian peer-to-peer groups in the country know that there's about 200,000 or so Christian CEOs in North America. It's also true that only about 3,000 of those are in a group. So that means 99% of Christian CEOs in America are not in a group. And that's a sad state of affairs. Why? Well, Jesus knew that he wanted to bring people together in a group called the disciples. In the Old Testament, it's very clear that a triple-braided cord is not easily broken. And as I shared with my friend John Townsend about this, he said, Greg, I'm pretty confident that people cannot grow in sanctification and become more like Christ if they're not in community. So Convene creates a place of community, a place of being vulnerable, a place of being known, a place of being accountable, a place of speaking into the lives of others. And when we do that together, which is all under a biblical mandate, I think we can make a dent in the culture. It's not just for a Christian CEO to know more. It's not just for a Christian CEO to be in community with others to impact them. It's so that, as Brian said earlier, that we can go forth in the Great Commission, the Great Commandment, and influence the world through the door of the Christian CEO suite.